Just a second, let me see a picture. When we see a picture, we know that we are live. Oh,
Are you recording?
here we are, dear Jordan Maxwell. How are you from Israel?
Well, from Israel, I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually in the U.S. in Arizona.
Well, the
It's,
hello is from
it's awful
Israel.
chilly here.
The hello
Yeah,
is from Israel, and you are in Arizona now.
yep.
So everything
And you
is okay
warm and
with
I'm freezing.
everything is okay with you?
I think so. Yes.
Well, I'm happy to hear. I'm happy to hear. Where the last week we start a series of shows to tell the Israeli people the truth. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Um, what new we have today?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I'm delighted to be able to talk to Israel, because there are so many things that I want the people of Israel to know.
Mhm.
I have been looking at the world from the dark side for 60 years.
Yeah.
Other people look for joy and happiness and for all kinds of great stuff to go on. Myself, all my life, I have looked at all the dark side, the things that nobody wants to talk about. And I used to remember my mother used to say, we don't talk about religion or politics.
Hmm.
Now I know why. Because religion and politics runs the whole world. And we don't want to talk about what runs the world. We just want to go with the flow and do what we're told to do. We don't want to question who runs the world. Well, I wanted to run the world. I want to know who runs the world.
Hmm.
And so I started looking at the dark side. And I have discovered so much that people just do not know, because I've spent my whole life looking for all the lies and the deceptions. And I have a mindset.
Yeah.
Everybody has a mindset. If you're Jewish, you have a Jewish mindset. When you talk about Judaism, you already know everything you need to know.
Yeah.
If you are Russian and you want to talk about Russia, in your mind, you already know what's going on. So it's already in your mind. It's in your blood. If you're in China and you want to talk about Chinese culture, you already know what to say and what to think. And so when I talk about government or religion, I already know what's going on because I've been looking at it for 60 years. And
Yeah.
I know about the lies, the deception, the half truths, the incredible way that we have been misled by the use of words and terms and symbols. And I think that it is now finally time for people to awaken to the fact that their governments and their religions were nothing more than gang wars and lies and deception. I don't care how wonderful you think your government is, it's not.
Hmm.
It's just a business. And so I learned the hard way about my own government and my own country. But I also know about religions and the governmental systems of the world.
Yeah.
I know who finances our banks. I know who prints our money. I know who makes our decisions. And here in America, we like to tell people in America we can elect our leaders.
Hmm.
But what we can't do is select our leaders. We can elect who they give us, but we can't select our leaders. And so That's pretty much the same all over the world.
Yeah.
In Israel, you can vote for, you can vote anytime you want. You can decide, you can vote. But you can't decide who's going to run for office. That you can't do. They will put certain people out there for you to vote on. And only those people that the powers that be want to control, want them in, they will put them out there for you to vote on. So when you're voting for different people in your country, all of those people are already okay with the government, with the real powers behind your government. They say any one of them are okay, anyone's okay. So you pick them. You pick whichever one you like. Why? Because they all work for me.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you can select anybody you want, elect anybody you want, and you got 5 different men out there. Elect whatever one you want, and whoever you select, that's okay. Why? Because they all work for me anyway. So it
Well,
doesn't matter.
the election, the politics, I call it the test of the evil. Why? Let's say that you have to go to the doctor, okay, to make some examinations, okay, and you have to take your mother with you because nobody can take care of her. So you take her with you to the hospital, to the doctor, and in the line you have 2 people. One is a raper that been caught 2 times in life and sit 5 years, and the second one is another raper that never been accused, but he raped 10 years. With who you gonna let your mother wait when you go to the doctor? That's the politics for me.
Yeah. That is a very good analogy. Yes, you're right.
Well,
Yeah. Who are you
this
going to trust?
yes,
You don't have any choice.
that's right. Tell me, dear Jordan, what we see here in the picture.
Okay, well, here's one of the different. Every time I look at theology and religion, I know there are hundreds of ideas and things which people do not know.
Yeah.
And so this is why I do what I do. I want to educate the people who are hearing me. I don't want to offend anyone. My friends, I don't want to offend. I want to help educate people.
Of course.
So I wanted to talk about today the Roman Catholic Church to start with.
Yeah.
In the Catholic Church, first of all, I don't know if you know this or not, but Jerusalem has a king. Did you know that? That there's a
Yes.
king of Jerusalem?
The prince in Spain.
Say it again?
In Spain. He is in Spain.
Yes, he is the king of Spain is also the king of Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
There must be a reason why.
Okay.
Why would the king of Spain be that powerful in Jerusalem? He has control over the whole city.
Yeah.
And he's the king of Jerusalem. And he's from Spain.
Okay.
That should tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm talking about the Vatican and the Catholic religion.
Yeah.
All over the world, people believe that the Vatican is talking about the worship of Jesus and Jesus is the Messiah.
Yeah.
In point of fact, that's not what the Vatican is doing at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't care about Jesus. What the Vatican is doing is the Pope is leading the whole world to worship a fish god. Most Christians do not know about the fish god that the Vatican is worshiping. But here you will see a picture of a god in the Phoenician Canaanite system. The old ancient Israel, thousands of years ago, was called Cana. The Canaanites worshipped a god they said was a fish god.
Yeah. Dagon. Dagon.
Dagon, yes,
Now,
Dagon, Dagon.
now let me
And
tell you
he,
something, my friend.
yeah,
Dag. If we take Dagon, it's 2 words in Hebrew. It's dag. Dag is fish in Hebrew.
mhm.
Okay, you can continue.
That's right. Dag is fish. And in the Catholic Church, you have women who are in charge of the religion, and they're called nuns.
Mm-hmm.
And we read in the Old Testament that Joshua was the son of Nun.
Oh.
N-U-N-N. Joshua was the son of Nun.
Oh, okay.
A nun, N-U-N-N, is also a fish. A
Mm.
fish is a nun. I guess it would be in the old Arabic or Latin.
Yeah.
A fish is a nun. So that's why you have Catholic Church has nuns, because it's a word for fish. Anyway,
Wonderful.
let's get back to this god Dagon. So here you'll see a picture of Dagon, the fish god.
Yeah.
It's actually a priest wearing the body of a fish.
Yeah.
Okay? Go to
What
the next picture.
What is the bag that he's holding? Can you tell us?
I know that is interesting. Because a lot of the Phoenician gods all carried a little handbag. Almost all the Phoenician gods carried a little handbag. And I was looking at that and researching that, but I haven't really got to the bottom of it, what was in that little bag.
Hmm.
But the Phoenician gods have watches. They have watches.
Yes.
And they're carrying those little handbags. I don't know, but that's the last picture.
Yes, I know. Okay, we go to the second one.
Okay, let's go to the second picture. Here's again a picture of Dagon, the fish god. He came out of the ocean, and his bottom from his stomach down is a fish.
Yeah.
And he's got a head of a fish.
Like a mermaid.
That's right, exactly, like a mermaid.
Yes.
And Mer is the ocean. M-E-R is the ocean, is water.
And I see that in the right picture, the stone one, I see in one hand you have a bag, and in the other one you have like a how it called pine. Yeah, it's an instrument.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to see it, but I see what you mean.
Yeah.
And down by his feet, you will see the tail of the fish.
Correct.
And he's inside the fish. He's wearing a fish costume.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a fish of Dagon.
Yeah.
The fish god. Okay. Now let's go to a third picture.
Here we are.
Okay, the third picture shows you at the top, you'll see the fish priest, the priest with the fish head.
Yeah.
And he's got in his hand a magic wand. See the magic wand?
Yeah.
And beneath that picture is another picture of the old Phoenician fish god Dagon. They're both priests are wearing a fish uniform. Yeah. Okay, the next one. You will see in the next picture, which is a color picture.
Yeah.
You will see two priests. It says two priests of the fish god Dagon. Anis is the same god.
Hmm.
One half of the Middle East refers to the fish god as Dagon. The other half is called Anis. O-A-N-N-E-S. Anis is the fish god among half of the population, and Dagon is the same fish god among the other half. Mm-hmm. So Dagon and Anis is the same thing. And you will see the priest of Anis in Dagon.
Yeah.
Now, here is the next picture. You will see the Pope wearing a fish head.
Correct.
And when on the bottom part of the picture, you will see, when it turned the other way, you can obviously see it's a fish.
Yeah.
So the Pope is worshiping Dagon, the fish god. And so that's the name of that tomb. Now you go to the next picture, which shows the Pope sitting in the chair on the extreme left, and he's sitting there. And then next to him, on the next right of the Pope, you will see the head turned the other way. So now you see it's a fish head.
Yeah. Here we see it on a black circle.
Yep. So we're seeing that the Pope wears the head of a fish god,
Yeah.
Dagon. Okay, the next picture is, here we see Dagon coming out of the ocean, and we see the hat that the Pope wears is called the Pope's mitre, and you'll see when it's turned sideways, you can see it's a fish head. So you should have known something was fishy in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
It was the Pope. Pope was fishy.
It smell, yes.
Yeah, the whole thing smells. Now you go to the last one.
This
and
one.
You see, yeah, here's the last picture. You can see it says, so now you know where the Pope in the Christian Church all came from. The Christian Church came from Rome, and the Roman Pontiff presents himself as Dagon, the fish god, the fishman. This is why Jesus is called the great fisherman. Well, no, the whole thing is fishy. But I just wanted the people of Israel to know that the Vatican is very, very powerful and dominant in Israel. The Vatican has a very heavy hold on Israel.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind that the Vatican that holds Israel is actually worshiping a fish god called Dagon and Anis.
Well, in dear Jordan, in 1994, Shimon Peres from the government of Israel, he signed with the Pope in the Vatican that they have the permission to start building the Vatican in Jerusalem.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, good.
I will send you the paper, and I will add it to this show so people can see that we are telling the truth.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Israel will one day have a Vatican.
Yes.
That's devoted to the worship of Dagon, the fish god of the Phoenician Canaanites.
Of course, in Haifa, Jaffa, in the port, there is a building called Dagon, like Dagon, and it's a factory to make it's a factory to make flour for bread.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's a very big building. I know this because a very good friend of mine, his father was the constructor of this project. So,
oh, really?
Yes. So, Okay, we go to the another one, to the next
Okay,
picture.
let's go to the next one. And that is, hold on just a minute.
Yeah.
I need to check it myself. Hold on. Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Okay, what we've got here now is Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
Okay, now here you will see CBS television in America, CBS TV, the network television. On the bottom, on the very bottom of the picture, it will say CBS News says Osama bin Laden is dying. And this is in the year 2000.
Yeah.
So Osama bin Laden is dying in the year 2000. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the second picture says that in the New York Times in 2001, it says Osama bin Laden is dead. So this is the New York Times.
Yeah.
The Asian Pacific New York Times says Osama bin Laden is dead in 2001.
Yeah.
Okay, now hold on. Let's go to
Fox News.
The third picture. Yeah, the third picture is, let me get it large so I can see it too. So he's dying in 2000. New York Times says he's finally dead. He finally died in 2001. Okay, the next one is Fox News.
Yeah.
And Fox News says Osama bin Laden has died a peaceful death
Yeah.
in
Interesting.
2001.
Interesting.
Yeah, in 2001 he died. Finally died. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we go to the next one, and we finally see that in 2002, Osama bin Laden finally died, and they say in Paris, Osama bin Laden is dead. This time in July of 2002. So 6 months before July would have been, he was dead in February of 2002.
Yeah.
Well, we heard that he died back in 2000. Then he died in 2001.
Maybe he is
Now
a
we get the news. We get the final news. He's finally dead in 2002.
the CIA.
This guy keeps dying. I don't know how he keeps coming back, but he keeps dying.
Maybe he is a cat.
Maybe so. Maybe he's Superman.
Yeah.
Okay, now also you have the next one is the International New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
In the International New York Times, July 2006,
Yeah.
it says the CIA closes its unit focused on capturing bin Laden. Why do they still have a unit looking to find bin Laden? I thought he died back in 2000 or 2001 or 2002 or 2006. It says here, agent officials said that they're tracking Mr. bin Laden. Well, how can they be tracking him if he died 3 times since 2000? He's died 3 different times.
Correct.
And his deputies remain a high profile. So they're still looking for him, but they're so damn stupid. The CIA is so stupid, they don't know bin Laden died 3 times. He's been dead since 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2005. And now he's dead in 2006.
July.
But they said they're still looking for him. They're still tracking him. They want to find him.
Yeah.
They don't know he's already dead.
Real stupid.
That's so much for the CIA. CIA, incidentally, for all of you folks in Israel to know, the United States CIA was founded by the Knights of Malta, a Catholic Masonic order. So the CIA is actually a Vatican operation in America. Israel, you might want to take note of that. CIA is a Vatican operation for the Pope in America. It's called the Central Intelligence Agency.
Yeah.
I call it the CIA, the Catholic Intelligence Agency. It was founded a long time ago by the Knights of Malta. All right, here we go again with another picture. Here's another picture from the Press TV that we now see Osama bin Laden has died on August 23rd, 2006.
Yeah.
Thank God he's finally dead after all the last 7 years. He's finally dead one more time.
Yeah.
Okay, so now he's dead finally in 2006.
No,
Okay.
wait. You have also 2007.
Yeah, now you go to 2007, WikiLeaks documents, Afghanistan intelligence says on June 2007 that Osama bin Laden is dead. He finally died. Finally died in 2007. Thank God he's finally dead.
Thank God.
And now here is Soviet communist, Marxist-Leninist Soviet communist operative Osama bin Laden we're being told by Obama, who was a actual Soviet communist
Hmm.
operative working for the Soviet Communist Party in America. Obama says that he has presided over the killing of Osama bin Laden in 2011. Well, thank God he's finally dead after all these years of reporting him dead. Every time you turn around, Osama bin Laden is dead. He's been found dead.
Yeah.
And now finally,
Now we can celebrate the
now we
death.
can finally say that he is finally dead because Obama himself said Osama, he had him killed in 2011.
Oh, well,
I don't know.
congratulations.
Yeah,
Well,
what a wonderful, wonderful
I
deal.
don't have the effect of applause, but uh, people can imagine we now applauding. Okay?
Now we finally know, right?
Yes.
Now on this is a coin,
Yeah.
that was actually a medallion coin that was struck in Nazi Germany by Adolf Hitler's Nazi movement. The Nazis struck this medallion coin in honor of Zionism. The Nazis were praising the Zionists. On
Mm.
the front side of the coin with the swastika, they were praising the Zionists and for their wonderful work that the Zionists were doing. On the back of the coin, Israel was praising the Nazis for the great work that they were doing.
Mm.
So the Nazis and the Zionists were praising each other. It's a mutual admiration society. They both loved each other.
Great.
Yeah. And here is a book that you can get on Amazon.com. It's
Yes,
called Adolf Hitler,
I showed
Founder
this.
of Israel.
Yes, I showed this the last show, and I gave a link to this. And
Yeah.
this, and what?
That, well, what you see is a swastika inside the sun,
What the hell?
inside the Star of David.
What the hell? What is
The
this?
swastika with the Star of David.
Oh my God! It's unbelievable.
Well, I'm trying to tell you that there is so much about the religion of Israel that I have been looking at for 60 years that I cannot believe is actually out in front of people, but nobody seems to see it. Like George Carlin said about the international bankers, nobody seems to see, nobody seems to care, nobody seems to know. It's just a big club and you ain't in it. The
Oh.
people who run your country are the people who run the world. Israel is not important to anybody. Israel is just a pawn in the game. It's just one more pawn in the game. The Israeli people have no idea in the world who really actually owns the state of Israel. It's because the international bankers of the world in England set up Israel. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the J.P. Morgans, the international bankers in America came together with their buddies and their friends in the banking business in England, and they decided to set up a group in the Middle East to prepare it for a world war. So they set up something called the State of Israel.
Well, let me show you and the audience some.
Is that Biden?
Yes, listen. You understand this?
No, I didn't hear it. What did he say?
He said you don't have to be a Jewish to be a Zionist.
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah.
Because Zionism was brought into the world by Nazis.
Yeah.
Adolf Hitler. So you don't have to be a Jew to love Zionism, because Zionism is a German operation.
Mm.
Zionism came from Germany, from the Marxist-Leninist Soviet Communist apparatus called the World Revolutionary Movement. It was in Germany, and they're the ones that financed, organized, and directed the founding of the State of Israel.
Mm.
It's all in that book that you can get off of
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here is a picture of the Star of David.
Yeah.
The Star of David is on the back of the $1 bill.
Correct.
Most people don't know that, but on the back of the dollar bill, above the head of the eagle, on the right-hand side of the back of the dollar bill, is an eagle. And the eagle represents the sun. And above the eagle's head are 13 stars, which are in the configuration of the Star of David.
Yeah. That's true.
Now, why is the Star of David on the American dollar bill above the eagle's head?
Why?
Because it has nothing to do with King David. In point of fact, there was, in fact, no King David. King David never existed. It's just a story. It's like Jesus. It's just a story, but a lot of people bought the story.
Mhm.
And since a lot of people bought the story about Jesus, they believe that Jesus is the Messiah and he will be coming back. But I have news for you. Jesus will not be coming back to save anybody. Why? Because he was never here to start with.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to make a big comeback when you've never been anywhere to start with.
Correct.
So Jesus will not be coming back because he never was here to start with. It's just a story. That's why the Bible's called the greatest story ever told. It's not the greatest collection of facts ever assembled. No, the greatest story ever told, meaning it's just a story. It has no basis in truth at all. Jesus was never here. In point of fact, the name Jesus and the person that we call Jesus the Christ was a metaphor, a symbolic story. It's a symbolic metaphor.
So why
There
it
was no,
calls
in fact, there
why
was no man named Jesus.
why dear Jordan, why it calls the Star of David? Why? What is the reason?
Because it actually comes from ancient India. That
Mm.
star, that six-pointed star, is called a hex, H-E-X, in Latin, hex.
Mm.
A hex means 6 points. The Star of David has 6 points, so it's a hexagram. So when you hear the Jews talking about how they've been persecuted all their life and been harmed and persecuted by the nations of the world, well, you're wearing on your neck a hex, because this is what the Babylonians used to do: would draw a triangle on the ground and then draw another triangle crossing it and draw a circle around it. Now you got a hexagram, a Star of David inside a circle. Then you stand inside the hexagram, you stand inside that star, and you cast a spell on people. And that's what we call putting the hex on you. They put the hex on you. And so now you're wearing around your neck the hex. So you've got a hex put on you.
Mm.
And this was done to the Jewish people without them knowing it. The Star of David has not been around for thousands of years. It's only come into existence a few hundred years ago. The Star of David is only about 200 to 300 years old. It was not used in the ancient world at all, because it was the hexagram, what we call the Star of David, was originally called in India the Star of Saturn. Saturn was his star, was a hexagram.
Mm.
So therefore today the Jews are still worshiping the planet Saturn. That is the Jewish God today. When we are told in history that the Jews were the first monotheistic people, meaning mono, meaning one, and the worship of one God, monotheistic. No, Jews were never a monotheistic, never. That's a total misunderstanding. And the reason why is because if you go back into the actual history of Judaism, you will find that Judaism started off with being a lunar religion in the ancient world in Egypt. It was worshiping the moon. And the god of the moon worshippers was called Moses. And there was a line of Pharaoh called Thutmoses. Thutmoses the first, Thutmoses the second, Thutmoses. Moses was the leader of a lunar moon worshiping cult in Egypt. And today we call that moon worshiping cult Judaism. The Jews were worshippers of the moon at one time. And that's why you have a lunar calendar in Judaism. We have a lunar calendar, and also the holy days in Israel are always 6 o'clock in the evening till 6 o'clock the next evening is the day. So the holy days of Israel always start after 6 o'clock. That's when the moon comes out at 6 o'clock.
Also the Shabbat time are 6.
Yep, exactly. So after 6, the moon god, his name was Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. And so Yahweh becomes Yahweh, Jah. And it goes back to Jah or Jehovah. Jehovah was a moon god.
Yeah.
And that goes back to India, because remember that the potentates and the kings and the rulers in India were called a Maharaja. Maharaja, Jah.
Yeah.
And so the Jah is a moon god in India. The Maharaja, Jah, who's also the moon god in Israel. And the moon god in Egypt was called Jah, Jah. And so that's why today you will hear Islamic teachers and Islamic authorities will tell you that Allah is mentioned in the Bible, in the Jewish Bible. Allah is his name. Allah is in the Jewish Bible. And they say that's very important. No, it's not very important if you have an education, if you're intellectually astute and have gone to school and learned how to read and think. That's not that big a deal. Allah is in the Jewish Bible because Allah is a moon god, and so was Yahweh. Yahweh and Allah are the same God. They're moon gods. And so the Jews were worshiping the moon. After 6 o'clock, he came out. And today, Allah is still the old moon god. So Allah and Yahweh are the same God. It's just one name in Israel and one name in Egypt. But it's the same God, the moon god.
Well, it's wonderful.
And so, but people are not told this. The Jewish people are not told that they came from moon worshippers, and that there was no. In fact, look it up and you do your own research, and look it up. You will find all the authorities, the Jewish authorities, when they talk about Moses, they always say something like, "Well, in the theory of Moses, or in the story about Moses." In the mythology of Moses. They don't say he was actually, in fact, a living person. No, they don't say that. They say in the theory, in the idea about Moses. It's not fact. It's not a factual story. And so, therefore, Moses never lived. There was no Moses. And Israel's been following Moses, the great law keeper and the great lawgiver, and never realizing that Moses was also not only a worshiper of the moon, but he was a god in relation to the moon worship. And it's a real interesting story about how young people in America picked up on Moses. So there's a ritual in America. I don't know if you've ever heard about it in Israel, but in America there was a time when young people would drive by in a car, and they would pull their pants down and stick their butt out the window.
Oh,
Have you
yes,
ever
of
heard of
course.
that?
Of course, we do it also here in Israel.
And it's called what? What is that called?
Well,
When
we
the
don't
kid,
have a name.
well, we do have a name in America. It's called mooning. They are mooning you. Why are they
Oh,
mooning you when they pull their pants down and show their butt? Why are they mooning you?
I think I
Because
know.
Moses was a leader of a moon cult.
Not only this, because when Moses was in the mountain of Sinai, he was the
Yep,
only one that saw the behind of God.
that's precisely right.
Yeah,
That's what the scripture says in the Old Testament Hebrew
yeah,
Bible. It says Moses, when he went up into Sinai, he asked God, "Can I see you? Would you show me, so I can see you? I'm your faithful follower. I'd like to see you." And God says, "No, nobody can see me and live. No man can see me and yet live.
yeah. But God
But,
opened the window of the car and showed him his behind.
and so God said to Moses, "No, you cannot see my face and live. No.
Yeah,
But because you've been so faithful and so good, I'm going to show you my butt instead. I'll pull my pants down and you can see my behind."
well,
And so,
let me guide all the audience and show them. This is the channel YouTube Radioactivity. This is the channel that
uh,
we are making the show. The show called names Israel, and the channel is Radioactive. Activity, and of course everybody can subscribe, and of course you can have those shows. You have all the videos, very interesting people there, and etc. Okay.
yeah, good.
Wow,
That's good to keep in mind.
it's
So,
it it was blowing mind, Jordan. It was blowing mind. All the fishy stuff that uh, all the, how can I say, the controllers of the governments and the countries that they sit in the Vatican, of course.
yeah,
Uh,
it's in the Vatican.
yeah,
Yes.
people don't realize it, but you know, every week we open more eyes, more eyes, and in the end, we're gonna be very good optometrists.
I think so because I would love to see for the Israeli people of Israel freedom. I'd
Hmm.
love to see people protected and free to be who they want to be and be who they are and not be under the Vatican or the Holy Pope. Because remember, the Pope is called the Holy Father because he talks to God.
Yeah.
He's a Godfather.
Hmm.
Get it?
Like in the mafia.
That's where it comes from, is from Rome,
Yeah.
Italy.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you go into Rome, you go into the Vatican, into the Sistine Chapel, which I've done,
Hmm.
and look on the ceiling, you will see the picture of Moses. I mean, you'll see the picture of God reaching out to touch Adam, to
Hmm.
communicate life to Adam. And right on the other side of that painting of God touching Adam, you will see God bending over with his pants down, showing his butt. That's on the ceiling in the Vatican. God showing his butt. He's got his pants pulled down and smiling and bending over, showing his butt. Why? Because that's what's in the Bible. It says that in the Hebrew Old Testament, what we call the Old Testament.
Yeah.
That's not what the Jews call it, but that's what we call it.
Well,
But so the Jews still worship today the god of the six-pointed star, Saturn. And that's why today, incidentally, on the planet Saturn, there is a hexagram on the North Pole of Saturn. Are you aware of that? That there is a hexagram on Saturn, on the North Pole? Have you
No,
ever seen it?
no.
Well, if you go on the web, and anybody listening to us, go on the web and just put in hex Star of David on Saturn, and you will see a big hexagram on the North Pole, enormous hexagram
Star
on
David
the North Pole.
on the North Pole.
Yeah, North Pole of Saturn, Saturn's North Pole.
Yeah.
Hexagram on Saturn.
Just a second. I'm showing it.
Now, Saturn is the god of the Hebrews today. There it is.
This
The
one,
North
yes.
Pole of Saturn. Yeah, the North Pole of Saturn is a hexagram.
Yeah. It's here.
That's why the Jews worship God named Saturn.
Yeah.
And Saturn in the Phoenician Canaanite system, which was one time we call today Israel. Israel used to be called Phoenicia Cana, the land of Cana. In the Bible, the land of Cana was Israel today.
Well, here
And
you have
Cana, in the land of Cana, the six-pointed star represented the planet Saturn.
Well, here you have the truth. You have here, I go to a website. They say that the true meaning, Star of David, Lucifer, explained, quoting Jewish sources. Here you have the picture, you see?
Yep, just a six-pointed star, but that
Yes,
character on the inside of the star is Dionysus.
Yeah.
Dionysus is the ancient Greek god Dionysus. He's inside the Star of David.
Wow. Well,
yeah, with the horns.
Well, let me tell you, it was a blowing mind show. Well, I believe that next week we're gonna go to the next level.
Next week I will have. Next week I hope to have a really, really controversial, blow your mind kind of show with some things that you never heard before. Things you did not know about Israel and the ancient Jewish religion nobody ever told you. But I think it's about time the Israeli people wake up to find out where their religion actually came from.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hear that the Jews were worshippers of one God, they were the first monotheistic people. Monotheistic meaning worshippers of one God. No, that never was true. No. They were not the first monotheistic gods, the monotheistic people. And today, they are still not monotheistic. They're worshippers of different gods. Today, the main god today happens to be the planet Saturn.
Yeah.
Saturn in the old Phoenician Canaanite system that we call Israel today, but in that area we call Israel used to be called Cana. And in the old Canaanite system, because one of the two sons of Adam and Eve was Cain and Abel. Baal was the name of a sun god, and Cain was the name of the land of Cana. And so the land of Cana, the worship of the planet Saturn was spelled and called Shabbat. That was the Phoenician Canaanite word for the planet Saturn was Shabbat.
So let me
Shabbath.
Let me see if I understand. Let me see if I understand it well. When you say Canaan, it's in the name of Cain, that was the son of Adam and Eve.
That's what a lot of the reference works are saying.
Wow. You know why the cannibalism called cannibalism?
That's right, because it was Cana Baal. Baal, B-A-A-L, Baal. Baal was the sun, and Baal worship in Israel was called Baal, Baal.
Well,
I think
cannibal.
it's interesting because that's what the sun looks like. It looks like an eyeball,
Yeah,
Ball,
yeah.
not Baal, but Ball, ball. It's a ball of light in the sky,
Mm.
and so the worshippers in ancient Israel were worshippers of the sun. Today, they still are worshippers of the sun because in the ancient world it was called Cana Baal, Baal, Baal. And so in the Baal worship, when the priest would, you could burn and sacrifice children. You throw your children into the fire and
Yeah,
kill them. You throw your children into fire.
yeah.
And when you throw your children into fire, the Baal worshippers were showing honor and sacrificing to the god Baal. But it goes on to say in history that the priest of Baal had to eat the sacrifices. They had to eat the bodies of the children they threw into the fire. So they would actually, after the fire was over, they killed the children and threw them into the fire. Now they're French cooked. Now they're hot. And now it's dinner time. And so then the priest would go in and take the bodies and eat the bodies of the children they just killed in the fire. And so they were called Baal worshippers because those fire represented the fire of the sun, Baal worshippers.
Well,
And they
until
were doing
today.
it in the land of, and they were doing it in the land of Cana. That's
Mm,
where we get the word Cana Baal.
mm.
Anyone who eats human flesh is a cannibal. No, not cannibal, Cana Baal. That's where the word Cana Baal comes from,
Well,
cannibal.
I know that until today, in the Vatican, they have sacrificing kids, and they work with every state and take children's, and this is why you have on the milk the picture of kids in America. They are missing.
That's right.
This is because in the Jewish religion, it says that you cannot eat meat with milk, and it says "Lo tevashel gdi bechalev imo." You are not going to be able to cook an animal in the same milk that he has. This is why those.
Yep.
This is why the government put the picture of the missing kids on the. They put the meat on
Milk carton.
the bottle of on the carton of the milk. It's
Yep.
for joking and laughing at people like they are really, really shit. Really shit
That's
persons.
exactly right. That's exactly right. You're right.
Yeah.
It's the big money people, the big corporations that are laughing at the Jewish people. They're laughing at the Catholic people. They're laughing at the whole world.
Correct.
Why? Because the whole world is ignorant, ill-informed, and unread. They don't know where anything comes from. They don't know what the words mean. They don't know what the symbols mean. All they know is they are told that today Jews are God's chosen people. Well, I'm saying if Jews are God's chosen people, what God are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, in the Middle East today, thousands of years ago, in the area we call Israel was called Cana,
Yeah.
the land of Cana. And in the land of Cana, the worship at Cana was of a planet called Saturn. Saturn was the god of Cana.
Yeah.
Saturn was
Well,
the god.
this is why we're here, Jordan, every weekend to show and spare the truth, and maybe to awake another couple of eyes. And we're gonna be here also next week, next Shabbat and Saturday, and we're gonna do another show until people get all the truth that you, dear John Don Maxwell, research all those years, your beautiful years, to bring us the beautiful knowledge that you own.
Well, thank you. But
Well,
I was going to say too
yeah,
that Saturn in the land of Cana, in your country, thousands of years ago, it was not Israel, it was called Cana. And in the land of Cana, the worship was was the worship of the god Saturn. Saturn was not called Saturn. We call it Saturn today.
Yeah.
That's the Anglo-Saxon language.
Well,
But in the ancient Canaanite language, Saturn was called Shabbath.
Yep.
Shabbath. The planet with the rings out there is called Shabbath.
Yep.
And so remember to always worship Saturn. And the day you worship Saturn is called the Sabbath.
You know
remember
why Saturn?
Sabbath.
You know why Saturn have a ring? Because in the Jewish religion, we call the Shabbat Shabbat Kala, she is married. The Shabbat is married.
Right.
So this is we put the ring on the woman, you know.
On the hand.
Yeah. This is why.
And the woman was supposed to listen to her God, the God of the Lord of the Rings.
Correct.
The Lord of the Rings. And so she listened to her God. That's why she wears an ear ring.
Correct.
And men were supposed to get married before your God. So you wear a wedding ring, an ear ring. Yeah. The Lord of the Rings, the planet Saturn. His name was Shabbath.
Yeah.
And so therefore his holy day was called the Sabbath. Yeah. So today, if you're a Jew and you keep holy the Sabbath, that means that you are still worshiping the old pagan god of the Saturn, the Saturnian god of the six-pointed star. That's why a world today is in trouble with wars and violence and drugs and alcoholism, is because the people have never been told the truth about religion and government. They're two hands of the same body.
Yeah.
Religion and government. And they are both financed by the same people. The same banks that finance your government are the same business and the same banks that finance your synagogues and your churches and your mosques and all the other holy places, supposedly holy. Yep. And I say there's nothing holy in the Holy Land, nothing holy. The only thing holy in the Holy Land are the stories because they're full of holes. When you understand where the religion of Judaism actually came from, and you hear that the Jews were worshipers of one God, no, in point of fact, the word is not monotheism. They were not the worshipers of one God.
Yeah.
The word is Heno. Go look it up in a dictionary. Heno, henotheistic. The Hebrews today, as they have always been, a henotheistic. Henotheistic doesn't mean one worship of one God.
Yeah.
Henotheistic is a word which means you worship one God that you picked one God.
Yeah.
There were many of them, but you picked one. And when you picked that one out of a group, I suppose we could say that you're worshipers of one God. Yeah, but you picked him.
Of course.
It wasn't that he was just one God in the whole universe. No. There's many gods out there, and you picked this one. So he is your God, and your God you're following your God because you picked him. So therefore, we could say today it's true. The Jews are worshipers of one God, the one you picked.
Yeah.
You picked one, and that's why it's called Heno, not mono. Henotheistic means you pick one God. Well, and so today in Phoenicia, Cana, the Phoenician Cana, ancient Israel, what we call ancient Israel. Ancient Israel called the planet Saturn El, E-L. Yeah. Well, today in Hebrew, El is God. Well, that's true.
Well,
and therefore you go on Saturn's day, the Jews go to Temp El. Temp El is the house of El. Yeah. Temp El. And so therefore you're going to worship the planet Saturn, Lord of the Rings. That's why the Jews in Hollywood are still making movies about the God of the Jews. Lord of the Rings, Temp L.
Yeah.
L is the planet Saturn.
Dear Jordan, how can I thank you for your time? I don't know. I will keep on being your best friend if it's enough.
I appreciate that because you are a dear friend of mine. Believe me, I know who my friends are, and you are a dear friend. And I appreciate your friendship, and thank you for having me on the show. I don't wish to harm or to belittle anyone. I
Of
want to
course.
only educate. I'm a teacher. I want to educate people where things have come from. Because while the Jews may be believing one thing that's not true, the Catholics are believing something else that's not true. The
That's right.
Protestants are believing something else that's not true. And the Hindus are believing something else. And Islam is believing stuff that they don't have any basis for at all. If you go into the Islamic religion, you'll find none of it's true.
Well,
It's all worship on the moon god.
it came from the same mouth that lied to everybody.
You're right.
I thank you very much, Jordan Maxwell. Of course, I'm gonna put a link to your work and your website, of course. And
Yes.
next week we're gonna be same day, same hour, and we're gonna make the number 3 show in the series that we are making for the Israeli
I think
people.
it'd be wonderful. I love that. Let's do it next week, and we'll do it again next week.
I send you a big hug, and of course, we're gonna keep on talking.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Jordan.
Bye-bye.
Shalom.